what my mom had.
But
Yeah,
the
so
regular
give me-
highway,
Oh.
they are good.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you too then, because I know Trey wants
A 2X.
extra
Well,
large, so
went to the airport.
he do an extra large, and I'm gonna be it.
You, well, I got the extra large. I want to order large, extra large.
Touch the road that right behind the
Oh,
So-
well, that's it, don't put, just give me two.
See, because of the,
Is that what they are?
because of the, Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
you saying-
no,
They can build a
you
ramp
have one person
right on
tax
the
for
25,
3X.
off 225.
So that wasn't,
So they doing all
that
that.
wasn't even you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
the
interstate.
I know, that's right. All right, y'all, we live.
That's a different area. Yeah, it's, yeah. You know, they haven't presented money to the people yet, they're gonna live before. Everybody not back friends.
But fence?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
526 running along.
Yeah.
Like the Hammonds, the Wrights, they losing their property. I don't know who else. I know,
That's
right?
Langston.
Yeah. And, one, my daughter live in, they coming right to the lot before the lot. Remember the guy, used to sit on the porch in the back part of the block, passed away along.
Chairman.
I can't remember his name, but his house is gone, it's empty house now. All it's right next to 526.
Yeah,
Yeah, all it's gone.
yeah, I know there's two streets.
Have they told the homeowners,
Nope.
have they told the homeowners how much they're
Okay,
getting reimbursed?
not yet, I don't think so. But you know, they, all, everything back is all one. You know, so. If you would take my property, make it art, give me something for it. Yeah. You're 66, right?
That's why you're not recognizing each other around here, you know? You came to the door, I thought you were real. This is Neil comes in with his.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
See him every now and then, but I haven't seen him in a while.
It's gonna be a big difference, man. You know, Liberty Park, 526, the old hospital, all that. How you doing? When you know, went down downtown with the historical city, I don't think it's historical anymore. You ride down there, you don't even know where you at. You turn around real fast.
That's
you
true, yeah.
You
I
lost.
have a cousin living in San Jose, California. She had been in years. And I sent her some pictures. She was confused with, where is that?
Cause you coming down 26, you used to see the steeples. Or you coming back from James Island, and you see the steeples, you don't see them. You gotta look for it. You gotta look for it, you know. So the holy is the holy brewery now.
Bourbon, King's Creek.
Yeah, yeah, that's everywhere.
It's, 6:40, what do you think?
You got to be pretty warm. And the conference is open. They got 3 more. What else, Carl?
I said, oh, it's 5 or 6.
That's 6. Yeah, 6.
That's it. We can wait a couple minutes.
Okay.
Hey,
Take it out.
Hey, you been all my life? We haven't seen you lately.
working,
You working on it?
vacation,
Oh, where'd you go?
Florida, Disney World,
Go ahead now. You didn't even invite me.
with my kids.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Extra, you want it, it's the same thing. Oh, this is, that's what they say. You know, that was
So we're
something.
gonna get senior citizen homes and then we'll put other hills.
Look at it.
That would be nice, but this,
Yeah, let's look at the tweets.
how much is this shirt? It would be nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got, we got.
He said 20 or 25. I'm not sure.
25.
Or 20, not sure.
I show one. Oh, yeah.
And governor told me, I said,
Oh, actually.
like,
Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah, you got a good rep. Lots of stuff.
well,
That was the number.
from this whole story. Yeah, okay.
Well,
All right.
No, he's talking Minnesota. Minnesota, yeah. They wanted that, Charleston, I think they wanted, a lot of people wanted him to be the candidate because that's where the votes would come from. Yeah. Some of the way. But
How much is the
I
shirt?
guess Walsh was the better
You got
candidate
yours for
because
50?
his overall background.
Yeah.
Sorry? I mean, Connie, you come with the whole box.
What sizes you got?
I
I don't
got,
think I even got a check.
Extra large?
yeah. And I got cheese. I don't think I got cheese. I got cheese.
You think everybody forgot about it?
Oh, she can pay for her own.
That's why I see.
Yeah, I mean, I still want you.
Hi, how are you signing?
Then
You
she can
signing?
go in, she got it.
Y'all signing for us?
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, how are you? Where you
Long
been?
time.
See you, I hate you.
If somebody
You had a day too? Everybody had a day today. Hi. We gonna make you first.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. Y'all ready for me?
Yes, as soon as he opens up a prayer.
Let them sign it and open up some prayer.
Okay. Then we'll get started. Denita, you had to sign.
Yeah, it's time.
We usually. Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna come look at you.
Every shirt for these.
Compromise, I want. Yeah, I want one.
I sure do. If I got it in cash, how much is it?
$20. Come on, thank you.
Can we open up with prayer, please?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah,
Go to John's prayer.
I didn't know y'all been doing this.
Father God, we come to you as unwillingly now. We thank you for allowing us to be able to come together in another month. Father God, we ask that you bless those who are here and bless those who are maybe on their way. And Father God, we ask that you bless it in this meeting as we get started. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Oh, man. She's so good.
Oh, all right. So welcome, everybody. We want to welcome everybody. Sorry we're starting late. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. So we're going to start out with, well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody who helped with the back to school bash. Next Generation gave a back to school bash on Sunday, and it was very, very successful. And the ladies who came out to help pack the book bags, we want to thank them. That went very well too. So thank you all for your service. Jerome was not here with the minutes. We will dispense with the minutes, and I will just email them to you when he sends it to me. Okay, next we will have our resource officer report.
Good evening, I'm Officer Silva, I'm the County Prevention Officer for North Charleston, filling in for, I believe, y'all's Enrolled Cooper. So only one incident to report on since y'all last met. It occurred on the 6th of August. The address is 4830 Courtyard Square. The offense was the theft of automobile parts. In this scene, there was the rear bumper skid plate taken off of a vehicle. And And that is the only instance to report on. That instance like that gets reported to property crime detectives, and they are left to deal with trying to solve it and identify any potential suspects. Usually with those kind of incidents, they try to gauge, there's no video evidence of anything or anything to report on. They'll try to gauge off of a pattern of behavior as far as their criminality goes and see what other vehicles are hitting that area, and that's usually gonna help them guide in the direction of trying to apprehend a suspect. It's usually one guy that usually just goes around hitting those areas, and if we get one off the street, you'll see a lot of downfall in those kind of incidents in the area. But only one to report on, so that's not horrible. That being said, any questions, concerns, comments, or suggestions? Yes, ma'am.
Question, is the crime is coming down up here?
Violent crime is coming down, and compared to previous years. The thing about North Charleston is that we are the commerce capital of South Carolina. When it comes to that, we're always gonna have high property crimes, being the autos. We absolutely are swamped in those areas. But the thing about that is, you get one off the street and it solves a multitude of crimes. Because what they do is that they'll get dropped off to a neighborhood, they'll check handles, and it doesn't help in a lot of these areas. They will leave their cars unsecured. There'll be handguns in their car. There'll be Bibles in their car. And the thing is, if they check a handle in one neighborhood and they see that the door's open, they're gonna flood that area. They see it as just a soft target, right? So it's very paramount that everyone just kind of conducts their own security checks for their own residences. Make sure you're locking your doors. Make sure your residences are well lit, well groomed. That goes a long way as well. If property appears abandoned, criminals tend to congregate towards the area because they'll say, oh, they don't really care about this place. We can just hang out over here. It just attracts that kind of behavior. There's ways to bring that down. We are very proactive in the neighborhoods, and we've had many successful busts this summer. That being said, it's kind of a nonstop flow when it comes to property crimes in North Charleston. But our solvability rates for our homicides, for our violent crimes, I think we're operating at 85 to 90% solvability rate, which is one of the highest in the nation. We always want, it's never good when it actually occurs and there's victims, but the fact that we can get those people charged and off the street, we look forward to not only bringing it down, but make sure it stays down, so.
Is that because of the cameras maybe?
Cameras, honestly, since I've started working in crime prevention and being more engaged with the community, I've seen a lot more just interaction. There's a lot more open, transparency between the community, and the detectives will attest to that. I mean, people are just, I think, it comes down to the residents being sick of it. That they're tired of putting up with it, and if I don't care if I'm related to them or not, this is who's out here doing this. And they're dropping fines on them. And here's the thing, that's what I tell residents when it comes to snitching, right? Number one is not snitching if you tell them someone's doing dirt and doing dirt with them, all right? The second, I'm gonna keep this in mind. The biggest drug dealer in the city, snitches, all right? They all snitch. Don't feel bad about telling the police anything, because all them big bad drug dealers out there, the D-boys, the hustlers, all that. I worked the prison system for 5 years. They literally tell their own mother, all right, to get them to see their own neck. So I don't feel any kind of ways about that. The more transparency we have, the better. Because honestly, there's only so much we can learn on the surface level during a primary investigation. The preliminary investigation, we go on scene, talking to witnesses. We're gonna collect the evidence, but unless we are able to apprehend the suspect on scene right then and there, it's gonna get dragged out. It's gonna get dragged out. That's when the transparency of the community comes in. We gotta keep in touch with each other. Who knows who knows where they stay at, and that's how we were able to achieve that rate that we have so far. So, anything else, guys?
So who did y'all thinking about picking for teammates?
I'm not in those conversations at all. I'm not in those conversations at all. I've heard rumors of, temporary position. That's why it's pretty much to the extent of what Gomes was, just kind of just in a minute, But as far as, rumor has that they might be looking outside.
It's better, it might be an additional search for this.
They might be looking outside.
For going to be like this. Might be an
Like
additional
reverb.
I can't state my opinion on anything, but whatever they choose, that's what we might see.
Do all that to make sure everything is being done correctly.
Right. I mean,
You don't need nobody to be behind this and getting this information.
Right.
You gotta be out there trying to get the information for yourself.
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, absolutely.
So no, you don't know if anybody threw the name in the hat.
I mean, there's all kinds of rumors, but that's simply what it is. I can tell you something that's completely
Yeah.
false the next day, so.
Okay.
But that is all, guys. You guys good? Everyone's well? All right.
That's what it's
All
doing.
right.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Appreciate
All right.
you for your
Yes,
service.
ma'am.
Okay, code enforcement is not here. I think Tammy had surgery, so she will be out for several months. I thought she was gonna send somebody, but I didn't get any reports. Usually I would get some kind of report from her, or somebody from her office, but I didn't get one, so. No news is good news. How about that? Financial report, Sita's not here, but she sent me something. She said the balance is $3,466.17. The July expenses were for computer, the Zoom, phone bite, and for meeting. We had some copies and stuff we had to do for office supplies. Okay.
All in the middle of the street, you call.
Any questions on that one? We have some guests today. We have Treva Russell.
Williams.
Williams.
Yes.
And you're from the same?
I'm from Seacraft. My name is Najima Washington.
Okay, Najima Washington from Seacraft. So they will be introducing themselves and kind of letting us know what they're doing, okay? Treva, would you like to start?
Sure. Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Treva Williams, and I have been here in the North Charleston area. I'm just up the road in Charleston Farms, been here since 2012. I came to town originally to help start the Charleston Area Justice Ministry and ran that organization for 10 years. And then the last couple of years, I have been working helping train organizers across the country, doing work like that. And that's how I got connected with Miss Henrietta Woodward at Community First Land Trust. They were being funded by an organization called Catholic Campaign for Human Development. And they put us in contact with one another because Community First Land Trust decided that it was time for them to start an organizing arm of the work that they were doing. So, recently you saw, y'all were part of the great turnout to keep the boat manufacturer out, and it shows you when communities are organized, what they can do together. And so Community First Land Trust saw that getting into the organizing side of things could help really preserve and protect these communities here in the southern part of North Charleston. So I was brought in to help write a grant for Catholic Campaign for Human Development to help with the hiring process, to train a hiring team, and then to help hire and then train an organizer. The Catholic Campaign for Human Development was pretty confident that they would fund that position for about 6 years. So we were rolling, put out the job description, started to take job applications from people. And then about 2 months ago, Catholic Campaign for Human Development reached out to us and said that they do not have the funding they thought they had. COVID has caught up to that fund, and so they have delayed payment of that fund. Usually that's July, so we were hoping to hire someone September 1st, but unfortunately they're not sure when they will be able to do new grantees. They're hoping November, December possibly, but they also informed us that it's not going to be the size of grant that they used to do. You know, when I was with the Charleston Area Justice Ministry, Catholic Campaign for Human Development funded us $60,000 a year for 6 years. And so that was the kind of funding that they did back then. But they said are not going to be able to do that amount. So I put our heads together with the neighborhood presidents and Ms. Woodward and started thinking through what other grants we could apply for. So I put in a couple of grants this last month, one to the Cypress Fund, one to Piece by Piece. Ms. Woodward put one in as well. And then we also still have the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, which we're confident will fund something. So we are delayed on getting that position started, but we are gonna keep moving forward. So I'm here to just keep you up to date, and I'll keep you up to date moving forward. We will restart taking up applications as soon as we know that we have secured funding for that position. So I wanted to see if there are any questions about that, or anything about that work.
Can you tell them a little bit more about how that position would benefit the overall?
Sure. So that position would be under the Community First Land Trust, but the benefit of the organizing position is it works for the 7 communities that, the same 7 communities that Lansing works with. And that community organizer would be the person who is really working to stay on top of what's happening at North Charleston City Council. They would build into a listening process to the communities, so the communities, you can also be proactive on the work. We need to be, obviously, when things are coming down the pipeline that could be harmful to our neighborhoods, we need to react to that. We need to, show up like y'all did at City Council, but we also need to be proactive and decide what we want for our neighborhoods and our communities, and then be building that people power and putting those policies forward to City Council. So that would be the work of that community organizer, is to organize your neighborhood along with the 6 other neighborhoods to really get people engaged and keep you all informed so that you can prevent that kind of thing from happening, but also set the tone for what's happening in your neighborhoods.
So that person will even go to the council meetings.
Yes.
And represent us, be a voice for us. So if there's issues and stuff going on in the community, or we need some support, they will be that voice to get up there and talk for us and things like that. Along with us too also, but they will be representing us too.
Any other questions? Well, thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
Hello, everyone. Wanted to say hello, introduce myself. My name is Najima Washington. I'm with the Charleston Community Research to Action Board, CCRAB. We are a local environmental justice nonprofit that works along the areas of air quality, water quality, soil quality. So we were also very present with Ms. Valerie and the other neighborhood presidents as we collectively combated CFOX at the Baker Hospital site. And Treva
Yes.
said it, when communities come together, that's when a difference is made. And y'all really made a difference. Y'all stopped them in their tracks. So kudos to you. Kudos to everyone who showed up for that. CCRAB is an organization that grew out of another organization that was mentioned today, LAMC, Low Country Alliance for Model Communities. So if you're familiar with these organizations around housing and environmental justice and education, CCRAB grew out of LAMC to handle specifically environmental justice related stuff. So we just had Debbie, and one of our communities, Rosemont, experienced a whole lot of flooding. How many people have flooding here in their area? Was there a lot of flooding here in, not a lot of flooding here?
Her house.
Okay, so that's good to know. We want to know where, there could be instances of flooding, and because we're doing a lot of our initial water quality work in Rosemont right now. But I would love to see some pictures if you have any. Hey, well, we will definitely talk, because we want to know about what's going on in the neighborhoods as it relates to water quality, runoff. There's a lot of interest in our communities from a lot of different organizations, and there's a lot of money to help mitigate issues and problems, and we want to help connect people where we can. One of the major things that we're doing right now is working on air quality studies, all right? CCRAB works with MUSC's Air Quality Lab for a network called CCAM, Charleston Community Air Monitoring Network, all right? We have what we call purple air monitors, which are screening monitors that we use outside to screen air, whether it's the train stations or the Lanxess property and the chemical plants around here. We want to screen the air because we recognize that there can be health detriments to what's going on related to the things that are, the industries and the factories that are in the area. So, one of the things that we would like to do, CCRAP would like to do over the next few months is find out from you all if anyone has any particular health, infirmities right now that you suspect might be related to the air quality. So we want to recruit air monitor hosts who will participate in, just collecting data. These purple air monitors, we put it in your yard. It collects the data, and we're able to see, what exactly the PM 2.5, which is small particulate matter. When it gets into your lungs, it can cause a whole lot of damage. We had a CCAM meeting to go over our last couple of quarterly reports in June, and we're going to have another in September. And we also would like to schedule a community discussion around these things in the September timeframe. So I'm going to shoot you an email, and we can think about setting up something. But we want input from the community, and particularly, I'm a little premature in announcing this, we are looking for board member representation. So if you know someone that has an interest in the environment and interest in giving back to their community and wants some board experience and might have something to contribute, please, I've left my information. I hope that I can get on your mailing list. I left my phone number.
Okay, there.
And my email address. And I will be more than happy to come back and discuss these and other things with you. But I wanted to introduce myself. I am a native Charlestonian. Don't fault me. I grew up downtown. That's just where my people landed. That's just where my people landed. But I'm from here. I went away for a while, but I came back home, and I've been home for some time now. So thank you very much. Okay.
Any questions, y'all?
I have a question.
Yes.
So with, what is it, West Walk or whatever the people know, since that's gone or going away, whatever, are there still remnants in the air? Like, because I know you mentioned the air quality machines. Like, how does that work?
Well, I'm not a scientist, but I would bet that with our wind currents and whatnot, things probably aren't lingering for a long term. I'd have to do some more research to see, what might be left from the plant, but I can't speak to that immediately right now. But I would love to know some more.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I do have questions, because, we're right here at the train tracks. Have y'all done any studies on this train output, exhaust, things like that?
I can't say we've done anything in the last 5 years directly related to the.
Okay, is that the foreseeable in the future?
Well, what we would use the purple air monitors for screening.
Okay.
That's what we would be doing, and we also are looking to do something a little bit more. We're looking for nitrous oxide, ozone, and PM 2.5, the small particulate matter. So if the train exhaust or any of that breaks down to something that's fine and small, that is definitely something that could possibly be monitored by the purple airs and the larger. We want to place a real sophisticated high gear monitor in this community. So we're looking.
So that's coming?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't have to put in a request for it, right?
Well, we would want to talk about, we're definitely going to do a high gear monitor in this area. We want to screen with the purple air screening monitors as well.
Okay. But do y'all do any studies on what effects the train has on like the home sealer? Because I know with the vibrations, but I've had several people say they redid their foundations and 2-3 years later, they still have one.
See, that's the thing about CCRAP. You all direct the research.
Okay.
You direct the research. You tell us, we want to know about this, we want to know about these particular problems. You all direct the research. We find the resources, God willing, and the people do it, but you all direct the research.
Okay, so that's a possibility.
So when we have these community discussions, that's something that we could bring up.
Okay.
And we can hopefully work with some of our partners like Lansing who have, a housing component or, because you got to attack these things from various areas.
Okay.
All right. We're out. We want to find solutions. I don't have all the answers right now, but we want to find solutions.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go to our committee reports. Don't forget to sign in, everybody who came in, if you don't mind. The importance of signing in, I'm just gonna share this briefly. We put in for a grant, and we had our minutes. We even had how many people attended the meeting. But they still wanted to see, you can't hear me, okay. They still wanted to see our sign-in sheets. So that's how important it is to sign in. They want to know it's real. Because you say people fabricate notes, I didn't know that. They're minutes. You know, so please sign in when you come in. Okay, and if somebody else comes in, just pass it to them, okay? Thank you. All right, Historical Society, do y'all have any reports? Anything you want to share?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Actually, we really don't have any update as such, other than to say that our projects are ongoing. You know, we're right in the midst of a 2 to 5 year project trying to get a historical designation here in Liberty Hill. We're in year 2 plus, and we're almost there. We've hired an architectural historian who's working very succinctly with our vice president for the Historical Society, Kavita, and myself, and others to get the work done. She's in collaboration with people in Columbia, so things are very promising. We're almost there. Another component of that work involves doing oral histories. We've gotten a grant, or getting a grant through College of Charleston in collaboration with them. So we'll be coming around getting your oral histories about growing up on Liberty Hill, what was it like, the games you played, going to Boswell's and Liberty Hill Elementary School, all of that good stuff. We talk about your neighbors and just the environment in general, because they need to know what it was like coming from the residents, all former residents of Liberty Hill. So that grant, we're getting ready to take some classes with that. Even though we've done oral histories all before, many years, but we're going to place them in portals so that other groups will have access to oral history. So look for that, and we'll be contacting you, I'm sure, very shortly about participating in that. Also, we put in for markers, and we've been very successful in that endeavor. We have a marker that's coming forth with Louis Tenement. We'll have a marker set up, and all of us from Liberty Hill, we're familiar with Louis Tenement, except if you're a certain age and a little younger. But we grew up with Louis Tenement, so this is Condis family, and we're very excited about that. We were one of 15 different sites around the state of South Carolina, and we won. We won. Other sites are coming forth, and we're going to put in additional markers next year as well. So look forward to that. We'll be having a reception and bringing in officials and talking about the history of Louis Tenement and other markers, like I said, that we put in for as well. Let's see what else will we get. Also, we're collaborating with the students at Academic Magnet and also the School of the Arts. In fact, they've sent us like 3 gazillion emails about wanting to work with us. So we'll be working with them. Students are very eager to sit down and talk to us about the history of Liberty Hill. Last year we did an in-service workshop for their teachers in the 2023 school year. So they're looking forward to us coming back and working with the students. They're very excited about that. Very hopeful. We are in collaboration also with I Am, with them coming in to scan more of the obituaries and the student war work with our community as well. We are also in collaboration with the Gullah Geechee Historical Preservation Society. They're one of our partners, and they, in the past, helped to sponsor a lot of our events, and that's ongoing. We're in collaboration with our cohorts with the Preservation Society for Gullah Geechee, and they're helping to send consultants to work with us as well. We are now on the national level with the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society. There are 70 chapters all throughout the United States, and I'm proud to say that we're part of helping to establish a chapter here in South Carolina, the very first. And we are one of the founders of sorts in getting that started. So we'll be hearing more about that. They offer seminars and bring people in so that we can collaborate with them as well. We're in collaboration also with folks in areas all around South Carolina and also the Low Country. There are other initiatives that we're trying to bring forth to do additional work with Liberty Hill. So as Congress says always, we're on the map. People want to come in and know more about our community. We will serve as a template of sorts for other communities wishing to do some of the things that we've been doing in the past and most recently. Also, we're the very first community that was spotlighted with the LGBT newsletter. They just started a newsletter. Liberty Hill was the first. There's a group out of Snowden who will be featured in the August edition of the newsletter. So, you know, we're working. We're working, and we're just really proud to be a part of this effort. This lady does not sleep. She is researching everything imaginable about Liberty Hill. It's unbelievable. I don't know how she's able to function walking actually, because she's always researching. You know, I want to do something out of the ordinary. She doesn't want to do this, but y'all need to give her a round of applause. She's skillful. She has so many skill sets. She can read fine print that a microscope can't see. Express so many different things. I'm just really proud to be, you know, associated with her because I admire her so much. So that's where we are. Oh yeah, we're doing some workshops also. We are involved with the College of Charleston doing workshops. They're going to teach us how to conduct oral history. Now, we've been doing oral history from the time we were 5, but they're going to teach us some strategies that they would like to see us put into place. So we've got 3 gazillion workshops that we'll be attending. We attend a lot of workshops, a lot of conferences, seminars, all of that. And when we go in, they know Liberty Hill is in the house.
All right.
We've done a workshop, you know, with Dr. Sumter. Yeah, she is out of Atlanta. She is amazing. Dr. Sumter does workshops all over the country dealing with historical, genealogical fact finding. So we've done 3 workshops with her. And we're looking forward to doing more workshops in the future. The workshops we do, as I've said before, deals with our group, through her, giving you the tools so you do the research and kind of guide you through the process. We don't do the research for you because we are very cautious about getting into people's history and uncovering some things. So, you know, we give you the tools and you know, yeah, thank you. And you do the actual research, but it's fascinating. So look forward to that coming soon. And also, you know, we finished Juneteenth. Oh my gosh, thank you all so much for participating in Juneteenth. That was wonderful. Thank you all so much. I look forward to having parade next year. And again, I thank Renisha for putting us in touch with our J19 group. And next year, we're going to have a bigger and better parade. So just get ready, okay? We want every car imaginable, floats, whatever in the parade, because we have a blast. A wonderful time. Yeah, we are the first group in Charleston to have a Juneteenth parade. Not just in Charleston, but in the Low Country. In the Low Country, so
That's history.
That's history right there, exactly.
So once again, Liberty Hill's the hub.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's it. Thanks to our predecessors who laid the groundwork for us.
What I have in this box is t-shirt. Hester and I was going over this for the last week before, Kamala picked her running mate. I was telling Hester, you got to jump on this one, it's hot. You know. First, we had Liberty Hill support Kamala. We couldn't get the t-shirt out in time, so she picked the running mate. So then we had changed our design with her and the running mate on, and on the back have the name. But the first set that we had was pretty also, because we had 3 different folders of Kamala and say Liberty on the back, Liberty Hill, because we want everybody to know that we supporting Kamala.
Mhm.
You know, that gave us recognition to put us further on the map. My thing is, wherever we go, wherever they hear Liberty Hill, I want them to be proud of Liberty Hill. Because for so long, Liberty Hill had carried a negative name, you know, so we're trying to change that now. So we are selling these shirts I have tonight, large, extra large, and 2X. That's what he was able to get tonight for me. If you chose a different size, then I would take your order and get it for you. Also, tomorrow, I am going to pick up the white. He were unable to get the white for me because he was having a problem with his machine. But tonight, we have the black and we sell it for $20. And so part of the money is going to go back to Harris campaign. So we're not going to keep all, but part of it is going back from Liberty Hill. We will let them know that Liberty Hill is get this shirt. It's $20.
Let me do a disclaimer. If there's any concern, please note that Liberty Hill Historical and Genealogical Society, we are a nonprofit organization. We cannot push forth that agenda. So this is a separate group that's doing that. So please note, this is a separate group that's doing this. And we're going to give proceeds, like you said, portions of proceeds to the Harris campaign, Harris Marks campaign. Please note that, write it down, know that it's not this nonprofit, it's a separate group. Okay, you got that? You understand that? Okay. We don't want IRS. Oh, thank you so much.
So that,
Please
so
support.
it's not the historical society, but they just.
No, it's not.
No.
That will be selling these shirts, but they would be doing it just for Liberty Hill
Yes,
overall.
yes.
Okay, we got it. But we just want to thank the Historical Society for all the hard work they put in. Trust me, they go to meetings every week and they support and they push Liberty Hill. I mean, y'all, we're 153 years old. It's time for us to be on the map. When we called South Carolina Preservation Office several years ago, they said they have done disenfranchised Black communities a disservice because they had made it so hard for us to be on the national register, and they realize now all of the communities are going away. And that's all part of American history. Black communities are part of American history. And as y'all know, Liberty Hill is the oldest community, that's organized community that started in North Charleston. City of North Charleston, so we should be on the map. We were the hub, we were the place to come. We had everything here, you know, 60 thriving businesses. It was self-sustaining, self-sufficient, you know, so We had the only school that came from 20 miles away to come here. You know, I didn't know Lincolnville people came here. You know, so,
You and Latson.
well,
Latson.
yeah, in Lassen, you know, so Liberty Hill Elementary, this was the place. Even the stores and all that, this was the place for them to come when they couldn't go anywhere else. So, let's fight to keep Liberty Hill a historical community, and put us on the national register. And then we'll talk a little bit later with, what the redevelopment group is doing for zoning overlay, in a few minutes. Okay, yes,
I
sir.
got a question, and, this may not be associated with the, Liberty Hill Preservation or whatever, but are we affiliated, with the new museum downtown? Do we have any history or anything going on now about that?
The African American Museum.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Yes,
we do.
yes. In fact, I just texted, gentleman today, he reached out to me, well, we've been talking for quite some time. He is going to begin to work with, some of the students from, academic management to show them part of the process that it takes for scanning documents and setting up a repository. And so, yeah, we're very much connected with them. In fact, they invited us to be in the Martin Luther King Parade. We participated in that. And also with the Emancipation Day Parade, participated in that as well. Yeah, we're very much connected. Also, we participated in the opening ceremony, when they first opened the museum, at the ecumenical service. I did the drumming piece, talking to the ancestors, and they invited me to come and do that. So yeah, we're very much connected with that.
Okay, you know, I'm a chartered member, but after COVID kicked in, things went kind of haywire, you know, but I know that they'll open back again, and I have yet to go down there. As bad as I want to go down there.
We have a little small thing about the founders of Liberty Hill, it's on, it's in there too. This is one that as you walk through, you see a little, thing about the craft, the little founders of Liberty Hill. There's a stick, so it's wall there, when you go near the door in the back.
It sounds like a bus trip from.
I know that's right. I got front seat.
Hook us up with a bus and go there.
Yeah, wait.
Yes.
But you tell me, I ain't trying to cut in the front of it. You tell me you got to make appointments now to go down there. Is that so? No?
Not anymore.
They were saying that. Open to the public now.
That was the 81st.
Yeah, when they first.
The first open. But now you just pay
You just go now, okay.
And then also, y'all keep in mind, the mayor's working on doing a visitor center here, and they want to do tours, International Museum want to do tours to Liberty Hill. So that's what I'm saying, it's time to put Liberty Hill back on the map. Because people see the significance of our community, and they want to highlight it. So the African American Museum is very interested in bringing tours to Liberty Hill. So that's why we're trying to make a difference in revitalizing and building back better Liberty Hill together. Okay, reunion group. Do y'all have, you have any updates?
No, so Jenny and I was talking about what they're doing t-shirts. We were talking about that, and, but I thought she was gonna be here tonight, but she didn't give me anything to give you.
Well, I know reunion group every year, usually they do something in September, I think, this year, they're not able to do it. We do have a Liberty Hill Day, which is the third weekend of the month of September. So I think Next Generation is doing something in September, so we're gonna probably consider that part of Liberty Hill Day in September. And then also Liberty, the reunion group is going forth with Thanksgiving on the Hill.
Yes.
Thanksgiving, where we feed the community. With partner with Next Generation, and they usually help deliver all the food to the elderly in the community or the infirmed in the community. And then December, we do Christmas on the Hill. And once again, we partner with Next Generation and other nonprofits, Historical Society and all to put on a big event for the community. And it's been pretty successful the last couple of years where we have tree lighting contests. I think we had an ugly sweater contest and we had magician last year.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. And we served this fun food for the big kids and the little kids, you know, cotton candy, popcorn, hot dogs, sausage dogs, with onions and peppers and things. So it's just a fun time. We have entertainment and vendors. So just look forward to that in December. Okay. All right. Beautification committee? Anything?
Yeah, good evening. I did reach out to those who live on Nesbitt and Llewellyn with your property backing up against Charleston County School. I reached out to them, to the maintenance department, and see if we can get that fence line cut and clean. They did it for me, I think 6 years ago. So I'm supposed to meet with them Monday and see if they'll come back and go around, because everything's running from their property into our property. And so see if we can get that done. If there's any other question.
How's the cleanup going as far as ditch?
They're supposed to do it next week. They sprayed this side of Montague, on Gainer. So, it's scheduled to be it next week.
Okay.
To do the whole thing, and if they don't do it, we'll get it done. In the city.
Okay. We've had problems with people throwing trash in the ditches on Gaynor Avenue. I guess all they do is ride by, just throw it out, toss it out on that side by the train track. Yeah. So Dexter has taken it upon himself to make sure his crew comes out there if CSX does not do their job. They go behind them and make sure it's done. So we thank you and thank his crew. Because the cities, they don't have to do it because it is not the city responsibility, but they do just for the video. So we thank them for doing that. So let's give them a hand. Anything with political action?
So before Ms. Hester even mentioned it, I said I was gonna do a disclaimer as well. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for, whose party they should be voting or participating in. But for me, myself, I support the Democratic Party. So, Charleston County Democratic Party is actively in their Go TV phase, which is get out the vote, they're volunteering, knocking on doors, phone making. So they're looking for people to try to just get, if you can get an hour, maybe two. And it doesn't have to be every week, you're just looking for bodies. They have already knocked on 3,000 doors. That's a lot. No, I'm sorry, 3,000 phone calls. They made 3,000 phone calls, that's a lot. And we got into November. So if you're interested, they are located off of 61, which is off the Ashley River Road. I can't remember the exact location. You can Google it, or if you need to call me, I can give you the information. I am trying to get someone to come out and speak between September and October. Those are crucial times, you know, the end of October, that's when early voting should start. Yeah, so once I can confirm this person to come out, I'll reach out to Valerie and y'all can send out an email or whatever, so more people will come out and hear what they have to say.
And Renisha had always pushed education. We have to be educated on who the candidates are and what they're all about. So we do have some literature not supporting or not putting it out there against anything, but we all need to know what Project 2025 is all about. I know Trump said he's not endorsing it, but we still need to know what it's about. Okay, so we have some information back there about what Project 2025 is all about. And if anybody have anything that they want to, or any other people they want to bring to educate us about what different policies are about, we need that. So we know whether to support them or not support them. And I'm just talking about policies, I'm not even talking about, whether it's Democratic or Republican.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends and a couple of people I work with, and it's shocking that a lot of people don't know. And I have good friends from male and females that I want to speak to, more so women, because our rights are they're at stake. I'm not planning on having any more children, but I don't want nobody to tell me what I can do with my body.
That's right.
It's not right, especially if you don't have what I have.
That's right.
Right? So again, like you said, education is key. If you're not vocal enough, you need to pick the correct people, put them in place to speak for you.
And always keep in mind, Trump said he's not endorsing it. How many times Trump done lied?
40 million.
You can't count
You
that.
can't help it.
Yeah.
Have to hear more.
Don't believe nothing he says.
Yeah. Well, the key is to educate ourselves. We have to read for ourselves and read up on it, from all angles. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All right, and also, if you can sign up anybody to vote, please do that. Or even help them check, scvote.org. Put their social security number in there, their address, and check and see if they're really registered to vote. Guess what? Some people aren't. One of our board members, she found out her vote didn't count the last time because it was something wrong. So check and see if your vote counts or going to count. Something could have happened. So please check it, or check your grandmas, check your aunties and uncles. Just check them, just to make sure. Next generation, did you have anything you want to say? Don't have any reports? Because I know you did the back to school.
Yeah, we did the back to school. I'm gonna stand over here so everybody can see. My name is Andre Middleton. I'm the chairman for Next Generation, and I'm also the chairman for Liberty Hill Alliance. And so we had our back to school rally on Sunday. We got a lot of support from the community. Valerie came out and helped us stuff bags on Saturday. And we handed,
Miss Carolyn too.
oh, and Miss Carolyn.
She helped organize this. She's done that before. She's done
Yes, thank you. But we gave out over 300 bags.
Wow.
Yeah, we gave over 300 bags. We did a whole lot. We didn't keep up with the number of haircuts. Well, I don't have the number of haircuts and hairdos that we did. But we were busy all morning from 9 up until about 6 doing kids' hair. And then we fed a whole lot of people too. So it was a good event. We got a couple of other events coming up in September 6th. We are going to be selling dinners again, and that's going to be from 11 to 6. And then we have a crab cart coming up on September 28th. And so we have tickets for that event. It's going to be right behind Private Tech. I forgot the name of
the lodge.
Yeah, the lodge.
Yeah,
We're gonna have it.
Stokes Avenue.
Right.
Stokes Avenue.
Right, so that's gonna be on the 28th, and the tickets for that are gonna be $25. Yes,
You have tickets?
I have tickets. So if you're interested, please see me.
Who's cooking?
Who's cooking?
Y'all cooking?
Not me. Not me, but that's what we got going on right now. And we had our town hall meeting on, it was last month, right?
Last Thursday.
Yeah, so we had our town hall meeting. We had a good group of people came out for that. It was good. Our councilman was there, the mayor was there. And so we're still looking at getting that feedback. And once we get that feedback, we'll be sharing that with you guys as well. But thank you for your continued support. Keep coming out here. And like Valerie said, it's like how Liberty Hill gets back to where it used to be is through us. We're not back to how it used to be. We're creating something new. You can't go back. We were always forward. But it's through us all participating, and everyone has their talent. Bring your talent to the table and use it for the community.
Amen. Did you want to share a little bit about the Alliance meeting?
What's that?
The Alliance meeting, that people came out, the Alliance meeting.
The Alliance meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, the Alliance meeting, well, we can share with the Alliance meeting, I think that, and I think about what you guys have, what we've been doing with the Alliance, it almost is like, for me, like the Democratic Party, in the sense that, I think, they have a lot of good programs that really help people out, but a lot of people just don't know about it. And I think with the Alliance and the groups that are in the Alliance, a lot of work is being done on Liberty Hill's behalf. And I think we need to do a better job of getting that information out there, because people will really be proud of the work that is being done on our behalf. And I think just like Biden is always working. He doesn't do a whole lot of talking about this is what I'm doing, but he's always working. I feel like that's what's going on behalf of Liberty Hill. So a whole lot of organizations working on our behalf, but we need to start letting people know what we're doing and how it's impacting them, because it's like there's a lot to be excited about and a lot going on.
Amen. And the Alliance is comprised of about 10 nonprofits that's working together in the community. And if one group's doing something, we'll try to help that group, or we'll collaborate. So it makes a difference, it's strength in numbers. And then we're trying to pull in the outside communities too, not only just Lampsey communities, but even, we have 10 Mile came out the other night, Ackley came out, Union Heights came out, and Timberline. So Murray Hill usually comes too, but he couldn't make it that night. So the other communities are coming up to share. And we want to empower them. If they need nonprofits, we'll help them fill out paperwork and do the nonprofits so they can get funding, so they can go back in their communities and rehab the homes, or have programs that's going to benefit the elderly or the infirmed or the disabled. All right, redevelopment group, Minister Craig is not here, he's under the weather, but we can kind of share what we're doing with the redevelopment group. Right now we're buying property, it's gonna be off of Leicester Street, it's right next to the Grant's Graveyard, kind of parallel to the back of it. And it's big enough to put about 2 houses on it, and so we're working with some banks and even some foundations to help fund some of that build out, so the house can be affordable. So if you know anybody who wants to be qualified to buy a home, or 2 homes, we have space for 2. If they want to go to Pinnacle Bank is qualifying some of our people, or if they go to a bank and they get qualified for a certain amount, then they can come to us. Also, what the redevelopment group is doing is working on a community plan. When we go for grants or even funding, they want to know if we got a master plan for our community, and we don't have one. There used to be one with the city of North Charleston, but that's it kind of went by the wayside. Every 5 years when they update the big comprehensive plan, for some reason Liberty Hill was kind of inched out of it. So we want them to put it back into the comprehensive plan for the city of North Charleston. And I'm not saying anything that I hadn't talked to the mayor about. So about putting all that back, because we've asked them if they were going to revitalize Liberty Hill. In the past, they've said no, they're going to do Park Circle. So we're going to hold them to the in 2020, they had us in the plan to put us back in the plan. So in the meantime, we have to come up with a master plan for Liberty Hill. And the master plan kind of shows where the houses are, the zoning, where the business is going to be, where the apartments are, all of that, and the infrastructure. Because when people come in your community and they want to put money into it, they want to see that you have yourself together. And so So we have students from Clemson, as a matter of fact, they're coming in on tomorrow. We have an architect student and we have a urban planner student. And they're gonna be working hard this weekend, on that master plan. And then we have Jerome Smalls, who lives on Gaynor. He's worked for Mayor Tecklenburg, and he's worked on, master plans and zoning overlays before. And so, he's kind of spearheading that project for us. Also with, the redevelopment group, we're doing the zoning overlay, historical zoning overlay. A historical zoning overlay will help control the narrative of the size houses, how the houses look, so they won't put all this ultra-modern houses on Liberty Hill, because we are trying to be that historical looking community, and we need to have a cohesive look. When we talked to South Carolina Preservation Office, they said our houses and buildings need to look from 1930 to 1970. So we're trying to do a blend of that. And most of our houses are what they call vernacular bungalows or ranch cottage style homes. And that's what we want to continue to see on Liberty Hill, not these ultra modern rectangular boxes that some of the developers are just throwing it up in a couple months. Some of them aren't even pass an inspection. They have to go back and redo the plumbing and go back and redo the electrical. So we don't want to see that. We have to control the narrative in our community. Who else is going to do it if we don't do it? Other communities do. They control the narrative. Where I live down Dorchester Road. They tell me the size house I have to have, the kind of work I have to put on there, my fence. They tell me everything. I have to go to them, even if, I have to re-landscape my yard. So Liberty Hill, we need to do that so we can look like a cohesive historical community again. Okay. So part of that, we've been trying to put that out here because we've seen houses go up next door to 800 square foot house, they build a 2,000 or 2,500 square foot house. And now you just threw off the tax base for Grandma Myers. We've been living there for 50 years. So we're trying to stop some of that or slow it down, So that's what the zoning overlay is gonna help benefit us, as well as, I think, just kind of control what is coming and going on Liberty Hill. Now, Councilman Brandon, and we've spoken with him, we had a meeting with him about a week or so ago. And he mentioned that we need to let all the residents know, not only the residents who have homes here, but even the landowners. So we have a campaign, Renisha will be helping us work with that.
But I have a question about that.
So Renisha,
can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why you want to say something?
yes, ma'am.
Because I own the house, the property, left to my ancestors left the property. So now I am not able to build the house that I want. If I want a certain kind of house, because it's been my property, I can't build, I have to, since it's not like a co-op community where I pay an HO or pay something to it. This is my property, so I can't build what I want now. You're telling me that I have to go by what you say I got to build?
Well, you have, so what we're trying to do is help the community look cohesive.
But what looks like, okay.
So if you go anywhere else to other new communities.
But this is not any community now, this is like an independent community too.
Exactly.
And that I have ancestry left it to me, so I can do what I want to do with it. So you're saying because the house is boarded up next to me and it's all run down or whatever, I can't come and build what I want to build next to it?
We're just putting a little bit of limitations on it. Case in point.
Okay.
If you live, say you live in a house.
Right.
Would you want a house to go next door to yours that's 8 feet or 8 stories high?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
But if I wanted to build a 3-story house next to mine, maybe 2 stories or something, I can't do that, because even though around me is all shattered and boarded up houses.
We would like to limit that to 1.5 stories, right? Or if it is 2 stories, because we just talked to the developers yesterday. if it is 2 stories, they can have those 2 stories look like a 1-story house, and it's beautiful. But it doesn't look like some kind of rectangle.
But I want to be the one to design my house. I don't want you to tell me what I want to do.
Right.
I want to be able to design my house myself.
But if the
It
community
should not
comes
have
together,
some say so of what I, what I want to make my dream house. I can't build my dream house, but I want it.
You have it now, you have a say so right now. We can sit down and design your house and.
I mean, it's my house.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying,
Yeah, with
I
with your
can't,
input.
you're telling me over here now, that you cannot build the dream house that you want.
no, it's not saying that you can't.
That's what I'm saying, that's what
With
you're
the
saying.
style of the community. You know, you're saying you're gonna build this big 3-story
No,
house.
it's already whatever my dream
Yeah,
house
but you're
is,
saying
you know.
all the little raggy house beside you, so first of
But
all.
I have enough property to do what I want
Yeah,
to
but
do
you're
with it.
losing money from the beginning.
Right, it's my money and my property, and I have enough square footage to do the house I want. So you're telling me now, on Liberty Hill, you can't do that?
No, we don't want you to walk out here thinking negative.
Yeah, that's why I want to be positive
Okay.
about it, so I can tell others too.
So let's be
What's
smart.
going on?
Yeah,
Be a part of the
you built what you want, but it's like my parents' house.
Okay.
It's a 2-story house,
Right,
but I guess you call it humpback.
right,
The back of the house, 2-story, you know, and you know how old that house
right.
is. But if you, in a historic area, because if you went downtown, you gotta go to the windows, to the doorknobs, to the shutters, you know, we're not saying nothing like that. But we're just trying to keep it in a historical area, make it look nice, the whole city, the whole community. But not walking out here thinking, this body would try to control your dream. You know, because if you don't say it now, you walk out that door.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You know,
saying.
we don't
what I
want no
feel
one
right
walking
now.
that door saying something wrong. No,
Right.
no. You want your dream, yeah, but.
If I'm about to build a house on Gary now, you're telling me I can't, so I have to come to you and talk to y'all before I can build a house?
No,
Oh,
no. That's why we sitting down
okay,
talking.
yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
the community come together, nothing was said that you can't do anything. But as a group, we can sit down and come together as a group and say, okay, these are the kind of houses, we might pick out 40 different layered houses and say, pick out one of these 40 houses. Maybe you pick more than your dream house, you can pick it out. You know, but don't walk out that door thinking somebody locked you on a piece of paper. You can't do this, because that's not happening.
And it's time to sit down, this is the time to sit down and talk about it and work through whatever concerns you have. Let's work through all of that.
This is our first time talking like this, so we don't need no one walking away with a second conversation that didn't happen. No one told you what you can't do. You know, so.
And the key to all of this is just the process through, just like I was sharing. You know, and this literally happened. You got Grandma Myers next door to you in an 800 square foot house. And then you build a 3,500 square foot house.
And that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, so what are you thinking about her?
I don't know what I can think about her, because, I mean, this is my property now.
Right, it's your property.
And this is
She's
2025,
been here
and she
50
built her,
years.
that's what I'm saying, she built her house with 1980 or 1960. But I'm building a house in 2025, so I can't build this 1800 house in the same thing, because this is 2025.
Even
So I'm going to, when I go to my, like, you know, I go to the guy who built the house, he's not gonna build a house from 1800, he's gonna build 2025.
But the
house.
lady,
And the property, the money that I'm gonna pay is nothing compared to what she paid
Ms.
for her house.
Myers have her house like 7 years old.
Right.
Her house younger than mine. You know, so don't walk out thinking that we talking and making it 18. You know, I mean, we still on the same level of conversation, we'll work this out. But if you talk something that's not gonna happen, or you really not gonna do, then a lot of people walk out that door and, you know, people get on these cell phones.
Right.
And
That's
kill
why
your
I'm
dream.
going.
Yeah, we don't want the dream, we don't want to kill the
Because I'm in
dream.
the process of doing that, and I just wanna know what you're saying, that I can't do it.
And keep in mind, let's think about some of this. Y'all, please indulge us. Let's think about some of this. If you're on a 30 by 100 foot lot, and you wanna buy a 35, you wanna build 3,500 square foot, you're gonna have to go up.
Yep.
So you're gonna have a big monstrosity, 3 to 4 stories high. So we're trying to have a cohesive looking community So we can have that historical, so we can be on the national register, so that I am can send in people here. You know, it's a global thinking for, Liberty Hill now. That's all we ask. We just ask you to open your minds to think about the historical value. That historical value means a lot, because our ancestors have put in over 150 years. So that's all we're saying. So let's sit down and talk. You got your house plans already? Can we just look at them and can we talk about them or whatever? And kind of come to a compromise?
But is it you or is it the people at the study that looks at it, or is it you that look at it?
No.
I got the study
As
as the one that's going to
As a
survey.
community, as a family, we just need to be on the same page. That's all I'm saying. And if we're not on the same page,
Then what's gonna happen? I can't build it.
no,
Oh,
I'm not saying
okay.
you can't build it.
Okay, well, so what's the purpose?
Because the zoning overlay is gonna stop a lot of the developers from coming in here taking over. You've been to Union Heights?
Right.
How do you like that?
Too much restriction.
I mean, well, they bought it because their property and they bought it and they, the zoning allowed them to do that.
Okay, so then it doesn't bother you.
That's, well,
None of that bothers you.
I think we can do the zoning. I
Yeah,
think
It's something we can do.
Yeah.
It's something we can do. So none of that bothers you?
It does, but looking at it as a zoning, I'm saying, the zoning,
But
stop.
a zoning overlay will help us slow that money that comes down Gain Avenue, stops on Liberty Hill. You don't go right through Liberty Hill. You know, it'll help the whole community. It'll make the community look like it once was, but on a 2025 level. If you want that brick house or whatever you want, yeah. But if a group of people sit down and pick up 50 houses, 50, and 50 layers of different houses, layout of houses, you'll probably find the one you want.
Or yours might be in there, like address to the list.
And that's one thing we need to do, sit down, don't jump into conversation like we are right now, but put houses in front of us and figure this is, you wanna come on Liberty Hill, you wanna build. And your 50, out of the 50, you might wanna turn this way or turn that way. But don't walk out of here,
I have not.
no, not you, but I know some people do that. That's
I
what
mean,
we all
that's
do.
right. I think it was like, open up so everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think,
Yeah, and that's why Brandon suggested it. The zoning, office is not requiring us to do this, but, to go door to door and talk to everybody individually and see how you feel about it. And Manisha said it the best. Let's have a session where we talk about it, work through it, a listening session where we do the pros and the cons for all of us.
And you need to have multiple listening sessions. And you need to have your messaging. Correct. Like if you want to get caught off guard, because people are, they're gonna ask questions.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what it's all about, asking questions and getting your answers. Because, at the end of the day, like I said, the application has been put in, it was supposed to be put in years ago to be a historical community, and it wasn't done. It's finally getting done. This is 3 years in, and we probably have another, 2 years to go? Does this make that? So even with that, if we want to have something that we're proud of and gonna hold on to, that National Register designation is key. That will even bring funds to Liberty Hill to rehab houses from the bottom to the top, from top to the bottom. It will also have houses be tax exempt. So all this stuff is important for the whole survival of Liberty Hill from now until eternity. So let's just sit down and have a conversation. We will be having hearings or sessions on that. And make sure you get.
This is healthy.
Yes, it is. It's
Because,
wonderful. I love
you get to hear from people, how they feel. People don't want to be inundated with so many restrictions and they can't do anything. It's good to just listen to people because after all, it's just her property. She's got this concept in her mind about this is gonna be my dream home, It's just like young ladies planning their wedding when they're 5 years old. You know, you got in your mind what you want, you know, and we don't want to have too many restrictions that people feel as though you've taken away my dream, because that's heartbreaking. But there's got to be a meeting of the mind. What's going to work for the betterment of the entire community? Yeah, we want historical, you know, designation. We want all of that. We want the taxes to stay low. We don't want to have a house that's going to displace everybody because you can't pay your taxes because taxes have gone up because you've got this person building like a 9-story house. You know, 29. We don't want that. But we want people to have their dream because you can't take away people's dream. You know, that's not right. But what's going to happen is if we sit down and have these healthy conversations, then guess what? It's a win-win for everybody.
Amen.
Everyone benefits because you get a chance to get it off your chest, so to speak, and you don't leave with misinformation. It's going to work.
Let me throw this in. It might not be what y'all want to hear or not. Regardless to them building the home, the tax is going to go up anyway. They can say we building low-income homes, but the value of the property and material is going up every year. So the home going to cost you $200,000 or $300,000. When I came back in 2006 and saw my taxes on my property on Luella, I called the tax company and I said, "You charging me $30,000 for this little lot?" They told me, "Well, homes were built in Liberty Hill for $100,000 and some thousand." I said, "Where at?" That's when the homes on up Jones Street was built. And I said to them, all these years, no home in Liberty Hill was worth $100,000 because Liberty Hill was always considered a blighted area. Liberty Hill probably still is considered a blighted area. But because they coming in and building these homes, and each time, I don't know whether anybody in here are familiar with real estate, but anytime a house is built and sold, the next home gonna cost you more. See, you can buy this house today for $30,000. 5 years down the road, you sell it for $70,000. The next person sell their house, they're gonna sell it for $75,000 or $80,000. That's just how it works. So your taxes is gonna go up regardless of whether you build $100,000 home or $200,000 because of the material and everything. So I can understand what you're saying, that you're trying to keep the taxes down, but you can't. Not when you got homes coming into the community.
So there is a program called the Bailey Act. And the Bailey Act is there for our communities. And it is the cap that, the tax base. And Mayor Burgess is applying for it for the city. And I'm sure he'll explain a little bit more. And I'll do some research and find out what the Bailey Act is all about. But going back to even the tax exemption for the historical part, the homes that are older will be put into the tax exempt status. We apply for that. So, yeah, the new homes will be up in price, yes. But we still gotta protect our indigenous people, the ones who have been here and kept Liberty Hill alive all these years. So that's all. But we'll have that conversation. We definitely make sure that this has opened the door. And Brandon, did you want to share anything about this?
Yeah, so for those who don't know me, I'm Brandon. I'm the District 8 Councilman. So I actually met with the mayor today, been meeting with the Alliance, meeting with Planning and Zoning. Saw you today. You got the biggest office in that building. No, but so just to be kind of a objective speaker in this, what is it's being proposed. So what's being proposed is an overlay district in Liberty Hill that that the Liberty Hill Alliance is going to bring to the city. And that is all that is official at this point. What is within that, it has not been presented to me yet. It's still a work in progress. So, but my position on this, and I spoke with the mayor today, and his position on this as well, is in order for city council to take whatever this final product ends up being and put it before the board and bring it up for discussion, that will only happen if that document is thoroughly understood by the vast majority of property owners and residents of Liberty Hill. So I'm very firm on that personally. I look forward to a nice discourse like the one we're having currently, having many of those in a variety of locations, a well understood final version of that document being known by every single person that lives here and every single property owner that has a stake here. That's my position on it. I think it's too early to really kind of get into that. I am personally I own my home. I want to do with my home what I want to do. That's how I feel. If the majority of the community feels that there needs to be restrictions on what can be built, then I will support that. But I just want to make sure that the folks who own property are the ones who are making this decision. So that's all I have to say about that. I will say, I want to make a distinction that the National Registry of Historic Places, that process is totally independent from the Historic Overlay District. So the Historic Overlay District is a city Liberty Hill conversation and process, and it is not involved at all in the National Registry of Historic Places component. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know it's like terms are very similar. Obviously the mayor is very supportive of that. I'm very supportive of that. I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be so cool when it happens. And it's going to happen because y'all working your butts off on it, and that's awesome. But, I think this is a very delicate issue. What you do with the property that you own, or what, the people that you give it to, whether you keep your property, whether you sell your property, what you can build on your property, what you can't build on your property. And I think that we really, the mayor and I are in agreement that this is not a process that we're going to rush. It's not something that we're going to do without everyone understanding what's going on. So currently there is nothing. So you can do with your property whatever you wish at this time, as long as you're compliant with our current regulations, which your property is probably zoned R1, so you can build a single family home on no problem. Again, there's some development that's going on, and that developer he has not yet closed on the property. He's working with the Alliance and some other groups to try and, identify what it is that the community wants in the area. But again, currently, if he was to close on the property, he could build whatever he wanted there because that's what's legally allowed. Obviously that developer cares about the community and is engaging in great conversations. And
yeah, we met.
I'm getting kind of tired of talking to him, honestly. I'm just saying, every day. But no, I think this is a really healthy discourse. I'm very excited that everybody's listening and understanding and paying attention. I think, especially now with Andre in zoning and planning, I think that he's going to be able to be another voice in the room that can kind of understand and explain and work through some of these things as we move forward. So again, I just wanted to clarify that there's two different things going on, and then also that there's nothing currently restricting anybody from doing anything. So, I'm sure once the Liberty Hill Alliance and Next Generation, all those groups come together and come up with that document and bring it to me and bring it to the mayor and zoning and planning, then we'll kind of work together as a city in partnership with Liberty Hill to say, okay, what's realistic here? And then once that's in its final form, then we'll come to the community again, it's just, my position on this is nothing will happen without community buy-in. So residential buy-in, property owner buy-in. I think we really got to get in touch with the heirs as well. Like, I know that's a challenge. I know that's difficult, but like, you're talking about hundreds of people who's are going to be affected by this. We want to really make sure that it's out there and it's well understood, and that, you know, nobody goes to build their dream home in 5 years and it's like, whoa, wait, I have to pick from 40 houses, or I can't build this height, or, you know, we just need to make sure everybody's really understanding what's going on. So, you know, I'm, again, not opposed to it, certainly. I just want to support the community in this. So that's where I'm at on it. I look forward to us continuing. You know, I met with the Alliance, we meet again, met quite a few times, continue to meet. So I continue to stay engaged with planning and zoning, with the mayor, you know, with other members of the council. I know several members of council own property in Liberty Hills, so they're already reaching out to me about it because they're being contacted by folks. And so we're just going to continue to have lots of good discussions. You know, we don't want to rush anything.
And this is not new, y'all. Park Circle has the historical zoning overlay. They're only 50,
well,
well, part of it.
There's a small area over behind downtown Park Circle that has a historic overlay district.
Right.
And
it
again,
it preserves the look of that area.
Well, I mean, it's fairly, it does, it has restrictions, but it allows multifamily housing, it allows for lots of different uses. So you can make them as strict or as liberal as you want, right? And it's about getting buy-in from the community. It's most important.
It gives the community a voice. Like you said, you can make it strict. They've had zoning overlays to keep us out, and you can have zoning overlays to keep us in. So it's as strict as we want to make it, or not.
Oh, and again, I'm sorry. But so the Bailey bill and all that kind of stuff, like our taxes, it's very, like, as you may or may not know, like the taxes that you pay, the city only gets a third of that. So it goes to the school board, it goes to schools, it goes to the county, and it comes to the city. So in order for any sort of like tax stuff to happen, we have to work with the county, we have to work with the school board, and then in order to fix taxes, and it's not impossible, it can be done, in order to fix that tax rate, there actually has to be some state level involvement and some state level action. So like these are very, and again, that's, you know, it's so frustrating moving at the speed of bureaucracy, right? But these are long conversations, these are important conversations, these are important conversations that we are starting to have. So it's, you know, we as a city are really working hard on trying to identify ways to help people stay in their homes, right? Because, you know, again, like the rising home value, like I said, like, it's coming. It doesn't matter if it's in Liberty Hill or adjacent to Liberty Hill. Like, just the cost of a home in our area is going up. And, you know, the county who controls most of the taxes and the way that we're taxed, you know, they have some things in there where your property taxes can't go up more than 15% every 5 years. Like that's helpful, but every 5 years, 15% for somebody who's on a fixed income, that's 15% more than they have, right? So I'm understanding that. I'm trying, you know, we as a city understand that, you know, so even that is maybe not enough to help people. So, you know, I just want to, I mean, there's so many different layers to this, the state, the county, the school, the city, you know, Liberty Hill. I mean, you know, folks who are from Liberty Hill, and it's just me who represents all of this. So, you know, I encourage you to call me or reach out to me. I would love to come and sit down and talk with you. Or we can go into City Hall, or we can meet with the Alliance together and just like, let's just talk. Like, let's, you know, healthy discourse, really make sure we understand what's going on. So if you need a part of that.
Brenda, I have a quick question. So when you say that there's conversation happening at the city on taxes, are you suggesting that there's discussion around trying to come up with a grandfathered policy that?
So it's been floated, right? Like by the Alliance has mentioned that, and the mayor talks about the Bailey bill and how that can help people with their taxes and stuff like that. Again, I think a lot of that is not things that we as a city have the ability to just wave a magic wand and control. We have to get approval from the county and The school board, a lot of times, particularly if you're talking about fixing a tax rate, if you're talking about saying these people's taxes are gonna be, flatlined or whatever, that's a state level approval. So, these are extremely, this is how the city makes their money, this is how the state makes it, this is how every municipality gets their money from taxes. So it's something that there's state laws that regulate what you can and can't do. And so we're working through that. Again, this is a very early thing. That's not something that's my field of expertise. I'm just beginning to learn about it. Like I said, Reggie and I had a lengthy conversation about some of the possibilities. Even with that national registry designation, when you get on that registry, those tax exemptions and stuff, like there's very strict rules about the types of properties that qualify for that stuff and the types of funding that's available and what it can be used for. So again, these are very important conversations that we need to make sure everybody understands what they're getting to. And again, the National Registry is completely separate from taxes and all that kind of stuff as far as the city level. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. And like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. Park Circle has a zoning overlay. It was already suggested by zoning that we look at that, and we are, and adopt that. We never wanted to do a whole separate zoning overlay. We want to do what's already there. The same process they went through to get it, we want to have the same process.
Yeah, and I said,
Sometimes when you do those historical things, they want the house to stay that way all the time. So that limits you in what you can do to your house when you get it in a historical sense. Because like downtown, you have to have it painted a certain color. You have to have only licensed contractors work on the house. And they have to be set out the same way, the resistance as long as you're on that thing, it has to be that way. So you can't, your children can't change the house, you can't change how it's done, change the color, you can't change anything. When it comes to doing that,
but that's downtown. Go ahead.
but I'm saying, when you start a historical, and get it set up as a historical site, it has to stay that way forever. As long as it's under that rule, so you can't do it. You can't get anybody to work on your house. You have to get licensed people using licensed things. So it costs $2,000.
And that's the misunderstanding. Because case in point,
Okay.
and I've gone through the process.
Okay, go ahead.
And case in point, Somerville have a zoning commission.
Mhm.
So Somerville have mansions, and then Somerville has little cottages. I have a friend, she lives in a little cottage.
Right.
Well, it depends on when she wants to add a extra room and a bathroom. They didn't put any stipulations on her. She was able to use the siding, the vinyl siding. She was able to use different bricks she wanted. They just asked her, they gave her a choice of different colors to pick for her door and different things. That's basically the only restriction she had. Because she was in the historical district. Yeah. So yeah, and she's in a home that's over 100 years old from her family. So it was affordable for her, and it was not restrictive. So you can make these things as restrictive as you want or not. It depends. Like I said, some did it to keep us out, and we can do it anyway. So, but we make it as restrictive as we want to. So.
I've got a question for the councilman. Before we know all was going to, get sick and all that, Bob and I talked when they were in the process of building Park Circle. And I questioned him about Park Circle. And he told me, he said, well, we're going to do Park Circle. Then we're going to do the Armory. Then Liberty Hill next. Because I said to him, y'all are always putting money out here in Liberty Hill. So he told me Liberty Hill was going to be next. Well, we had no choice on when you leave it here,
Yeah.
So, and I know when we met, you said that you and Bob talked.
Yes.
my name came up,
Yes.
right? So that ball, you laughing, so was it good or was it bad?
It was good.
It was good, good.
In his own way, right?
Yeah. So my question to you is this, did he mention anything to you about Liberty Hill? And since you representing us now, what is your plan and how can you help us? You've heard what we're trying to do, what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I remember standing right over here when you were campaigning. You said that you were going to work with us.
Yeah.
Because at that time, you saw where we were neglected.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same?
So-
and what you're going to do to help us?
So I said it when I was running,
Mhm.
and as a resident of Park Circle, I have never understood why Park Circle gets so much. It just doesn't, I love Park Circle, I love it, and I think it's great, but the amount of money that has been spent in this one little area just doesn't make sense to me. And there's so many other, Charleston Farms, Liberty Hill, all these other areas that have just as great bones, right? So I think at this point, that money has been spent, right? And I got a 5-year-old, she spent an hour on that playground today, but I don't know if that was good money spent on that roller playground. But, again, of course, obviously, Liberty Hill and many other communities, large and small, all deserve good investment because what makes our city is our residents. And if our residents don't live in a place that they're proud to live in, then what's the point? So, as far as, that's my campaign spiel, right? So what am I doing? Meeting with the stakeholders, meeting with these groups, meeting here, coming to this meeting, hanging out with y'all and learning what's going on and walking around in Liberty Hill and going to these meetings and these events. And things take time, right?
Right.
And in our city, we have a strong mayor system. So the mayor is who sets the agenda. That's good for Liberty Hill. Reggie cares deeply for this community, as he does many other communities. But this place always holds a special place in his heart. So what I'm trying to do, what is going on now is there's a lot of momentum in the city of North Charleston for growth and opportunity. And so what I'm trying to do is work with the community when these types of opportunities come. Like we have a new development that's trying to come in here. So working with that developer, working with the city to try and, working with the alliance, working with the residents, trying to make sure that we're putting the right things in place to move Liberty Hill in a direction that it's ready to move in. As we have discussed many times, and it may have been brought up because I see it here, but Councilman Hart, he left $2.1 million out of his bond fund to redo the Montague corridor. So that's a state-owned road. So the state normally would just come through, pave it, call it a day, see you in 45 years, let's do it again. But what we have now is an opportunity to enhance that and add some, add additional crossings, add some green space and divided highway. We paid out of his money for an engineering study to say, what are some alternative ways that we can do this road to calm the traffic and make it safer and make it more desirable. So that's going to be a huge thing. And again, it's a slow moving process, but the city's already engaged in that. It has a seat at the table in deciding what that final look looks like. And so we'll just continue to, do things like this and bring them to everyone so that we can find what the best look is.
Let me stop right here. Are we going to have an input in that? Are we going to have meetings?
For me, yeah.
So, normally you have meetings in the community.
Yes.
So
it's required.
Right.
Before this happens, there will be meetings with DOT and
And they do represent.
yeah. Nobody's going to be surprised when the papers come down. Yeah. But, something else is, and again, this is from community input. I sit on the cardboard And it was brought to my attention that there's not a stop on Montague and Liberty Hill, right? So I'm working with CARTA to try and figure out when is the next opportunity for us to readdress those routes, particularly with the low country rapid transit line, which is the big line that's coming down Rivers Avenue, that's gonna be dedicated bus lanes and all that stuff. Let's make sure that we're getting a night, I'd like to see it sooner, and I think we'll get it sooner than that, because I'm gonna try and push work in our meeting in a few weeks, but, it would not be hard to me to let's put a stop from a Dollar Store, right? Like, to me, that's just an easy, people are using that, they're getting there, they're going there. I think putting a stop there or in that area. So things like that, that's kind of where I'm at currently, where I'm just looking at things, listening to what people are telling me, and trying to make just incremental changes. I mean, these are not, this is not life altering for you or me, but for that person who has to walk from here all the way to their house on the other side of Montague, I mean, that could be a big deal. So just trying to find those kind of opportunities. And again, that's why I encourage everybody to call me, text me, email me, because, I don't live in your community. I don't wake up in this community. I'm 2 miles away, but 2 miles is a long way in this area, right? So I need to know what we need. And the only way that I'm going to do that is by listening. And, Andre had that great session a few weeks ago. I thought it was really super productive. I'm putting you to sleep already.
You all right? Is he all right? That happened in Jackson earlier.
Well, I can't top that, but, yeah, so again, just listening, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming and attending this meeting. But
Yeah.
This is the only way you're gonna know what.
Absolutely, and again, these fall on the same night as our city council meeting, so I'm always late, and I apologize for that, but I always come.
My question is, what's the next project that you'll be working on Liberty Hill?
In Liberty Hill, so right now, the city doesn't have any major projects planned. I know the mayor's talking a lot about what we're gonna do with the community centers, trying to get those updated to be more functional, more useful. I think Liberty Hill obviously is gonna be one of the first rounders to get that. That may not happen until next year, but that's something that's being discussed. Again, this project's an ongoing project, the Montague corridor. Again, I don't know how big of a lift it's gonna be, but really trying to get that stop for the CARTA bus, I think that's to me, that seems like a good obtainable win, so.
When Danny came last week, when I woke up, my whole street was flooded. They couldn't even come to my house. What, was I supposed to call you, or who was I supposed to call?
You can call anybody at that point. You can call me, I'm always available. Once you're the right place, Public Works is usually, if you've got a flooded road or something.
Yeah, the whole road, I mean, the whole road was flooded. I
Yeah.
couldn't even get out of nowhere.
What road do you live on?
It's frankly, you wouldn't know those things.
Okay.
Back street.
Yeah, so stuff like that, we finally have gotten some, again, this is not Liberty Hill specific stuff. This is not Park Circle specific. This is like the entire city of North Charleston is dealing with this and beyond. A lot of our roads are state owned, the drainage is state owned. So just trying to fight those battles. Sam and Bob, they were great in their own way, but they didn't know how to use email, and I do. So just emailing people and trying to get stuff done. We got more drains cleared before that storm than they had gotten cleared by the state in 5 years, right? And that's progress. It's not fun, it's not glamorous, but, just trying to get stuff like that, just identify these missing links and just get those things that have historically been missed moving again.
Yeah, I have a question, well, a statement. The corridor, which is about 2 years out.
The low country rapid transit line or
No,
the Montague?
The Montague corridor, to upgrade it,
Yes.
beautify it, streetscape.
Yes.
With the energy we got, the city got their plan going on, that's gonna happen.
Yes, it will.
If this group here sit down and come up with for the housing that we were talking about a few minutes ago. And we come up with an idea how, if you can beautify Montague, why we can't beautify all of Montague? The way we want. I mean, because it's our community.
Well, so it's with.
No, I'm not, all I'm saying is she got a green room. She bring her information. It's open page, it's a blank page. So there's no discussion what you can't do. The discussion is what you want done. And then we move forward. So right now, walking out the door with attitude shouldn't be that far. Because we can do what we want to do because it's a blank page. We know the city hasn't got what they want to do for Montague. So why don't we sit down together and do what we want to do for the community outside Montague? Because, where we want the houses to look, we can do that. That's us.
So let me, and you're back to the overlay, but I wanted to bring up something, and I'm glad you reminded me. So speaking of Montague and speaking of stuff that's kind of happening at the city level, so there's a couple of organizations in the city of Charleston, in North Charleston and the area, that are big on supporting and promoting local businesses and helping preserve local businesses. And so I'm meeting with them next week, and they've been meeting with Councilman Michael Brown in District 10 about a local business kind of like overlay that they want to do on certain parts of Rivers Avenue, down McMillan Avenue, the downtown Park Circle area. Is that something that we would be interested in for this Montague corridor, where those businesses on either side, those properties would have certain limitations on what could go there? Like, for example, if that was in place, some of the stuff that they're throwing out is that any business would have to have less than 10 locations. So you couldn't have a Wendy's or a Taco Bell. You could have like a local hamburger joint only. Is that something that y'all would be interested in having along that corridor, or no? Or need more time, or want to talk about it?
I think we need to talk about it in-house first.
Yeah.
Sit down and talk about it in-house.
We're working on that.
Don't have the big rock businesses come in and really want to start their own businesses are neglected and denied the opportunity, Back in the day, we had mom and pop businesses, and we did well. So we need to sit down and talk with the residents in this, area. And you mentioned, going back to what kind of asked about, what was said previously, and you mentioned that things that were happening in Park Circle, another community, you never understood why I guess this area was not developed over a period of time. And you said you didn't understand it. We understand it very clearly. Redlining.
Oh, well.
Redlining, we live it, we see it, we feel it, and the can gets kicked down the road. There's always a delay, there's a denial, and people come up with reasons why we can't do certain things. We're tired of that. Let's talk about what we can do and how we're gonna move this community forward.
That's part of
That's all I gotta say.
I have a quick question, and it's not trying to deviate, but Dexter mentioned something about the Montague Avenue corridor. And it brings me back to something I heard a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it was like a 2-day conversation, which one Saturday it woke me up out of my sleep. My phone was ringing, 7:30 in the morning. So since you're here and you're the councilman of this district, I'm gonna ask you, Montague and Mixon, please tell me yes or no if y'all are in talks about having a roundabout.
At that intersection?
Yes.
So if you look, the city owns 3 parcels. They own all 3 of those parcels there. The only one that they don't own is that CVS parking lot.
Okay.
So that discussion, had been happening apparently for almost a decade.
17 years.
17 years.
I've been in the meeting.
Yeah, so it is not, as far as I know, have you heard anything about it? I haven't heard anything about it recently.
Those 3 properties.
Yeah, the city owns those 3 properties. The owner of that CVS building has absolutely no interest in selling. So it's not possible under,
Okay.
it's not currently possible to do a roundabout.
The conversation was had And it came from the councilman, because I got it back. And I'm not gonna mention their names, but I contacted a council member and I'm kind of, cool with her. And I don't know if she reached out to you or she was supposed to reach out to you. But I called her and I talked to somebody on the planning commission. We were all on three-way. I was pissed. Let me tell you something. I live here in the community. I actively live here.
Yeah.
And I have a school-age child. When I leave off of Sanders and Ms. Millette is here in the morning, I cannot get out.
It's crazy.
I cannot get out.
It's crazy.
Everybody goes to academic magnet or School of the Arts, or they go towards North Charleston. I have pure hell getting off of Sanders. And it's an inconvenience. I can't go in somebody else's neighborhood or block their intersection. If I do, I will receive a ticket.
Yeah.
They don't look my way. Like, it's been years and I'm tired. So when I heard about it, I was like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I think,
it's not gonna happen.
I think,
I see it in the morning.
I think obviously, a traffic circle there, to me, it would certainly, well, I think it would dramatically increase the flow rate through there. But again, it's an academic conversation, because it's never gonna happen until that CVS finally goes out of business and they
Well, that
can't.
CVS ain't got no business being in the first place.
That CVS is not doing anybody.
I'm telling you, it's not.
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
That property
They
go by
own
the
that
next time.
property, I didn't lease.
So CBS don't have it.
CVS does not own that property. They do not own that property. They lease that property. So there's.
For the Lynch family.
Red, white. Used to be Lynch.
Oh.
Red,
Yeah, but to answer the question, and like, if under some crazy circumstances, they were somehow magically able to buy enough land to do a circle there, that would again, those are state-owned roads. So you would be going through an extremely robust and long state process to even have that done. Now let me tell you, I live in New Church Reserve, which I can see the elementary school and the high school from my house. And it's a freaking zoo. I mean, it is, and we have been fighting, so in my neighborhood, the kids just park everywhere, the parents park everywhere. I mean, they fly. There's no respect for anybody that lives in these communities. It's appalling. And we have been trying for 5 years to get the school district to do something. So I met with DC Cordray today, and we're talking about what can we try to do to deal with the school stuff. And I understand NCPD is chronically understaffed. We just actually onboarded 4 new officers today, so that's a step in the right direction. But she has assured me that once they get their patrol units and all their other units staffed up, that they will have a traffic division again, and that they're gonna finally be able to come down. And I'm like, when is that? I mean, it's been 5 years, so. At some point, I wish that we could get
They messed that up when,
route for them. But, I mean, unfortunately, the way that school is laid out, the only other way that I can really see in would be for them to shoot down Gaynor Avenue, and that's not gonna do any good. That's gonna make it just.
Well, Bone Wilson didn't have that problem when they had all them schools like that.
Yeah.
Because they used to use coming out that lane and on Marty U and go to them buses turn different directions. Now they got all those schools back there.
Right. They packed
And the campus is still big and open.
Yeah, because you're talking about that's a big elementary school, and then I didn't realize for the longest time, but there's a middle school and 2 high schools.
Oh, yeah.
In that academic building. I mean, that is a tremendous, and not a single one of them has ever heard the word carpool or school bus. I mean, they all drive their own vehicles. It's just so frustrating, and I'm just.
Then they turn down William Street and throw trash on our property, while I have to clean up.
It's frustrating.
That's right.
It's frustrating.
You turn right there by CVS, and all the trash thrown across my fence.
But to answer the question, there is no current discussion. There is no current, because if they were gonna do it, it would be being a part of this.
Okay.
And it hasn't even been mentioned.
Can you explain that a little bit, the green space with the?
Yeah, so just to be clear, this is not a final, this is just a first draft. based on Mr. Hart's drawings of what he thought they should do with the Montague corridor. So we're going to run it through engineering. We're going to do there's going to have to be traffic studies. They're going to have to be SCDOT. But what this is a proposal for redoing Montague, and those green spaces and the white is actually it's a median, a raised median. So the objective here is obviously to make it so that when people come down Montague, it does not present as a highway like it does now. So present it as a residential area, which it is. So like if you go down Nixon Avenue, for example, like it's the same width, but you can feel like you're in a residential area because there's these grassy areas, the road's narrow, so you don't want to drive fast because you're like, oh, I don't want to bump into a curb. So there's all these objectives that you can achieve by kind of showing people that this is a place you're supposed to drive slowly. So that's what the end goal of this project is going to be, is to put some raised medians in, crosswalks that cross those raised medians so that people can get halfway and have a safe place to stand while they wait for traffic to clear. I would love to see, and I push for it, and it's not going to happen, but I would love to see at least one traffic light put in somewhere. I don't think it's going to happen. I've already basically been told it's not going to happen, but again, just trying to push for something that revisualizes that Montague corridor instead of it being a racetrack that cuts Liberty Hill in half. Let it be
It is a racetrack.
Right.
Look,
Yeah.
what are those? Look like
Yeah.
Jacob's ladder.
So those are
Right.
crosswalks.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are just crosswalks, and then the green and the white that you see, that's an elevated concrete median. So again, it's not a final plan. It's simply just was a first proposal. So don't take it as anything more than we're working on it.
Y'all aren't considering bike plans?
So yes, so what I would like to see, and again, there's a lot of conversations. There's a ton of conversations. What I would love to see would be some sort of version of this where we're actually narrowing it in some places and removing lanes in some places, because the reason it has to have so much is the train you have to be able to compress enough vehicles in that it doesn't block a lighted intersection or a major intersection. And then coming the other way, when the train comes, it can't back up to the interstate. So there's all these again, state regulations, DOT regulations, which are federal guidelines actually, about like the number of lanes you have to have in certain areas. But what I'd like to see, and that's preventing us from doing bike lanes, is what I'm getting at. But what I would like to see is maybe where it's appropriate, have it wide enough so that you can have the carrying capacity to hold all the cars when the train comes. And then, further up, like I got caught by the train, I was sitting there for 20 minutes today, and it never got that bad. So identify where those places are where we've got enough capacity, and then remove lanes and let us play around with bike lanes, or something that Val and I talked about was potentially like a separate path, like a neighborhood use path that's for, golf carts and bicycles and, foot traffic instead of a sidewalk. So again, all of these are things that we're, with Mr. Hart's money, are able to pay engineers to help figure out for us. So, this is a very conceptual plan. I saw the initial drawing that this is based on was literally on a napkin, and he drew 2 lines and said, "This is Montague, and I want to see some crosswalks," and then he drew some little palm trees. So, we're working. It's going to take, the final design is probably a year or more away, and we're working on it. We're trying to see what DOT will allow. What is the best thing for the community? I think Val and the Alliance identified a potential issue with people's ability to get in and out of Royal that hadn't been thought about in the initial drawings. So there's still a lot of things that need to be designed to make this a final product. So we're probably looking at multiple revisions, and again, I'll look at them as we get them, and we can continue to work towards something what we want.
So all this is ongoing conversation, y'all, so we will definitely have more, we will definitely have meetings about the historical piece of Living Hill overall. The National Register as well as the zoning overlay.
Well, it's fine, but I just want to make sure that the drains and stuff are.
Anybody else have any questions, concerns?
Yeah, and I've got, if anybody needs a card, I've got.
If not,
It's
adjourned.
Those who want to stand and pray, please stand. Lord God, we come to you. Thank you for this meeting and allowing us to have an open mind. We ask that no one leave here without knowledge. We ask that you bless this meeting and bless each one of us as we travel back to our destiny. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you all for coming, appreciate it. Thank y'all guests, thank y'all for making it such a lengthy meeting. We usually don't stay this long. I learned a lot. Thank you too. See you next time.